Two very crucial things. One, the ability to take initiatives. Very, very crucial aspect of life. Today life is so fast. Anybody who has the ability to take initiatives will always have an edge over others. And two, the ability to be free. Sometimes we are too bothered about what somebody else might think about us. And in that, the freedom to express is sometimes curtailed. And when the freedom to express gets curtailed, so often what gets bottled up is joy. I ask this question every time I go to train teachers. If your child calls you for a wedding, and when I say if your child, it means any student of yours. If your child calls you for their wedding, will you take some money from them to come there? They are aghast at this question and they say, of course not. It will be such a pleasure to attend my child's wedding. And then we follow up asking, in case we invite Shah Rukh Khan for the wedding, will he take some money? What do you think is the answer? How much? See, the benefit about India is, even if we don't know anything, we have an opinion on everything. So you may not Shah Rukh, you don't know what is the rate, but am I 5 crore? And then we talk to teachers and say, while you are educators, they are entertainers. Unfortunately, but the truth is, entertainers are valued much more than educators are. But the way to live life is shown by the educators. How would it be if educators can become entertainers? And that is what happens when a movie like Three Idiots comes. That is what happened when we have a movie like Dangal, where through entertainment, ideas, enlightenment, insights are shared with people. Now, to be entertaining, we need to be a little free. And the heart has to be filled with joy. And in the next 2-3 minutes, that is what we are going to attempt. I will give you some scenarios, and you have to act that scenario with your partner in any direction, left, right, behind, ahead. I leave the choice to you. Be free. So first choose your partner. With whom are you going to act? And choose each other. Huh? One chooses, A chooses B, B has to choose A. B can't say, no, I don't like you, C is better. Now, first acting, how are you going to behave? The two of you have to start a conversation. And the conversation, the theme of the conversation is, I don't want to be here at all. Okay? You have 5 seconds to think. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Now what will you do? Acha, bus ho gaya, bus. Okay, in this direction, I don't want you to go too far. Some of you might walk out also. Don't want to take chances. And I have never seen a bunch of people happily telling others, I don't want to be here. Situation number 2. Now this will require some body movement. First thing, you can sit and you can chat. This, again, it depends on how free you feel. You are meeting a friend after years and he is promising to return the loan he has taken from you. Okay, 5. So you can change the friend, you can go to somebody else, you can be the same person, choice is yours. People have already started talking, I have not even started the countdown. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thanks a lot. And I have put an end to this because I saw some people asking, "Jeb se nikal, jeb se nikal." Final scenario. You have just got a message, and the message says, "You have won a lottery of 100 crores. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm the lottery agent, 2%. दे दिया ना? बिंदास. Okay. Did you buy the lottery ticket? The key inside the classroom is going to be, can you make the children inside the class laugh? There are two things happen when people laugh. One, they feel connected with you, barriers are broken. Anybody who makes me laugh, I naturally like that person, so barriers are broken. And second, people come to the present. We can be absent-mindedly sad. I have not met any person who can be absent-mindedly happy, unless there are some exceptions in this hall. For you to be happy, you have to be in the present. And when people are in the present, they move to a listening frame of mind. Otherwise, they may not be in the listening frame of mind. When does a social revolution happen? When does social change happen? You look around our country and you will find so many issues. Whether it is traffic, whether it is sanitation, whether it is environment, whether it is corruption, whether it's the speed at which things should happen, whether it's opportunities, there are so many issues. When will the issues get solved? There are three situations is required for the issues to get solved. Situation number one, enough people have to be interested. Only then an issue can get solved. If only I am interested, I will not be able to solve the issue. My first work becomes to get enough people interested in finding a solution, which is what we are attempting to do through Keep Moving movement. You read the newspapers and you read, a child scores 94% in 12th, appears for NEET, doesn't qualify and commits suicide. Now, which means he's a child who's a performer. Academically, yes. Memory-wise, yes. But emotions? Probably a little weak. Which means I know how to score marks. I know how to do well in a subject. But I may be a little weak when it comes to handling disappointments that life offers to me. So issue can be there in the newspaper. Millions of people can read about it. They have some data that they can share with friends. But if enough people are not interested in solving this issue, it will remain as an issue. 2 years ago, we realized doing KMM in Pune is a very good step. What we are doing over here is very nice, fulfilling, impactful. But it is like a drop or two of water on a hot stove. It is not going to be enough. We took the initiative of speaking to a few people, and surprisingly, some of them agreed to have Keep Moving movement in their respective places. It all started with the beautiful city of Udaipur, where Adi took the initiative, spoke to folks over there, and a city was started. It did brilliantly well, and inspired by that, we kept on expanding. Last year, we had Keep Moving movement in about 14 cities. And we decided to take a leap of faith. What is a leap of faith? I would love to do something really magnificent. If we can reach there, if we can succeed, it's awesome. If we don't, I'll be very glad I gave it a shot. Which means there's going to be no regrets whatsoever. Even if the results that I wanted to bring does not happen. So we took a leap of faith, and from 14 cities, we decided we want to expand it into 100 cities in a single year. Some beautiful people responded. They went out of their way, traveled across the city, spoke to people, shared with them what is their personal experience of Keep Moving movement, and really devoted themselves to this cause of expanding the footprints so that more and more people can join. And very soon, it should be a large enough number where a change will become transformation. Change is something which happens temporarily. Water changes into water vapor. Transformation, on the other hand, is permanent. A caterpillar transforms itself into a butterfly. Now that butterfly cannot become a caterpillar back again. So the idea was, how is it that we can expand, reach out to as many people as possible, and maybe reach a tipping point in a few years' time where any student, anywhere in our country, who is going through class 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, they understand how to face life in a way where they can also say, whatever happens, I will keep moving. Like Vikas shared, sad news is we could not reach 100. Glad news is, this year KMM will be done, besides Pune, in 54 more places. Now, thanks a ton to all of you who made it possible. Some by running around, some by spirit, some by motivation, some by efforts. Not exactly excited, but we know we are on the right path. And in times to come, we should be able to reach where we wish to reach. So factor number one, which is responsible in social transformation, is when enough people get interested in solving an issue. Factor number two, people who have start fighting on behalf of people who don't have. So let's say the elite, people who are well-to-do, people who have benefited, people who are blessed, looks at the struggle of those who are not as fortunate as they are, and their heart reaches out to them and say, I want to support you and I want to lift you. So Mother Teresa starts a movement like Missionaries of Charity, goes and speaks to friends and well-wishers, and some of them who have extend the money which is required for the entire movement to happen. When the haves do not contribute, for the have-nots to rise by themselves is a huge challenge. So the second factor which makes a social transformation happen is when those who are blessed reach out to those who are not blessed yet. And that is what the volunteers of Keep Moving movement are all about. Each one of you is blessed. Each one of us had a beautiful life compared to millions out there. Each one of us, being a part of Keep Moving movement, have a fantastic support system. We have amazing guidance. We have people who we can fall back on, people with whom we can speak anything which occurs to us. If we are ever down, if we are ever sad, if we are ever lost, there is not one but a bunch of people we can speak with. And the memories of you taking the class flashes in those moments. There will be times when things look very difficult and we feel like giving up. In those moments, if we can choose to be happy, then we have some very solid strength within. Now, this is one statement which is made by the person I'm going to speak to you about today. So thank you so much. Because you come in, the haves come in, you obviously grow in the process, but most importantly, at least 50 children inside the classroom will be touched by you. You will be instrumental in lifting these children. In times to come, these kids will reach out to other kids who will reach out to other kids, and we will reach a scale by which we can say, in our country like India, there are no suicides which happen. In our country like India, we don't do anything carried away by our emotions. You know, in the Bible, it is very beautifully said. Or should I say, Bible doesn't say, don't be angry. Bible says, in anger, do not commit a sin. Which means now and then I will be tested in life. But in those times, if I can stay composed, I become a role model for many, many people to look at and understand what is possible. So the second factor required for social change, enough people who are capable wish to lift enough people who are not capable yet. And that becomes the turning point which multiplies its impact. Factor number 3, when we are looking at impact, when we are looking at scale, when we are looking at growth, courage and fearlessness has to be a part of us. When we are looking at impact, when we are looking at volume, when you're looking at social work, fear cannot be a part of our personalities. KMM is a demanding program. 7 sessions, and in 7 sessions, high quality stuff has to be delivered inside the classrooms. In 7 sessions, we adhere to a beautiful sense of discipline. Come for these sessions on Sunday mornings. Go to your AC meetings to understand how to take the session a little deeper. Practice the mocks with the ACs. Update things as required. Irrespective of the temptation which life offers to you or the emergencies that life offers to you, you still remain focused on the responsibility you have assumed in your shoulders of going inside the classroom and teaching at least 50 lives. Which means there might be a business deal sometime. There may be a fractured bone sometimes. But you ignore all that because you're very, very clear about what you want to achieve. That sense of responsibility on your shoulders is a little demanding when it comes to life. But it is also highly rewarding. Some people sometimes get a little scared about the quantity of commitment which is required. But then when you want to do something beautiful in life, fear is not a good companion. So we need to know how to deal with that fear and ensure that fear does not allow us to make those choices which fear wants. We make those choices based on courage. I'm very glad that when somebody becomes a part of Keep Moving movement, they become a part of all the 3 social factors which leads to success. Let's do some more thinking. Can you think of any award, local, national, global, any award? किसी award के बारे में सोच सकते हो? Grammy, okay. Can you just raise your hands? I'll identify you. Yes? Bharat Ratna, okay. Is that Harshad? Olympic gold. Olympic gold. I like it. Not Swapnil's gold. Huh. Nobel Prize. Filmfare Award. Who is that person? Right award. My friend in the last? FIFA. Oh, FIFA, football. Ah, okay, okay. Right. Now, yes? Ah, Magsaysay Award. Okay. Yes? Padma Bhushan. Okay. Padma Shri. Okay. Shiv Chhatrapati Award. Okay. This I hadn't heard of. Dronacharya Award. Okay. Now, those of you who have already received your notebooks, you can open your notebooks and write down the name of any award which comes to your mind. Those of you who haven't received your notebooks, you can take out your phone, first put it on flight mode, and then write about any award which comes to your mind. And those of you who don't have both, just think in your mind. Written? Name of the award? Any award? Okay, great. Let me introduce you to a person who's probably the most fascinating person I've heard about. Her name is Lizzie. Volunteers, can we have the sheets, please? Okay, everybody's got it? Please settle down. Now each speaker will get enough sheets for you to distribute in your class. Settle down. Here is an extraordinary story. This girl, Lizzie, has a very rare disease, the disease which only 2 people on this planet have. And the disease is, there are no fats in her body, no adipose tissue at all. Her body cannot make fat. Which also means there is not a gram of fat on her body. Which also means she has to eat every 15 minutes. If she does not eat for a max of 30 minutes, she will die. Which means she doesn't know a full night's sleep. And obviously, when you see a face and a body which does not have single fat, you know how she looks. She is 5 feet 2 inches tall, and her body weight is 23.5 kgs. When she was 4 years old, she became blind in the right eye. And she has been called the ugliest woman alive on this planet. Today she is 29 years old. And a little while ago she was asked this question: would you like your disease to be cured? And her answer was, of course not. And when the reporter persisted, she answered, this disease of mine has made me who I am. Now this girl, in spite of being called as the ugliest woman, has a brilliant sense of humor. She says, you know, when I don't like someone, I just make them stand on my right. Because I can't see from my right eye. And the second reason she says is because of the family that I have. My family has never given me sympathy. My family has never looked down at me. My family has never been disgusted with the way I look. In fact, my parents treat me as if I am a princess. She goes on to say, when I will not have a single friend at school, I will come back home crying, I'll hug my mother and I'll tell her, why doesn't anybody like me? Why does everybody hate me? Why do they call me a monster? Why do they shriek in horror when they look at me? These are not my faults. I didn't ask for this kind of a body. her mother will hug her and tell her, "My child, you are a little different. He has given you a body where you will always be smaller than others. People are not able to see the beauty in you, but don't mind. Go to school, keep smiling at people. One day, there will be enough people who will understand how good you are, how beautiful you are, and they will want to have you as friends." Now imagine the strength of the parents when they're telling the child to face the world. They're not telling the child, "Escape, stay at home, I will do homeschooling for you, world is very bad." None of that. Keep smiling at them. And one day they will see the beautiful you are. And she says, "I'm a fun kid, I like to have fun." But the friends would have had her. Today she says, "I have been bullied my entire life, but it's absolutely okay. My life is difficult, but it's absolutely okay. When I go for a tour, my roomies get disturbed because every 15-20 minutes they can hear some noise of some wrapper being opened because I have to eat. And they say, 'How can you eat so much?' She says, 'I'm blessed. Whatever I eat, I will never become fat. I'm a cool girl.'" She says, "Initially, it was very difficult. I also used to curse myself for my body. Every morning when I wake up, I will wish a miracle has happened in the night and my face has changed. I will run to the mirror hoping God would have answered my prayers and I'm looking beautiful. And I will look at my face and I will get so disappointed with God." When she was in school, a child made an 8-second video, no music, put it on YouTube, and the title was "The Ugliest Woman Alive." That video had 4 million views and thousands of comments. And the comments included words like, "Why don't you do the world a favor and kill yourself?" Comments like, "Put a gun to your temple, commit suicide so that this world can be a better place." Comment like, "Because of you, we are not able to sleep well at night. Why don't you jump off a bridge and just die?" Comments like, "Are you not ashamed of showing your face every day to us?" You know, we live in a world which is very vulnerable, where somebody makes one comment about you to you and we may not be able to handle it. Let's say somebody is a little dark in color and somebody says, "You are very dark." And anger shoots up. Somebody finds some flaw in your work and you might rebut them by saying, "You can only see mistakes in me, right?" And frustration shoots up. We are so vulnerable, we want validation and appreciation all the time. And for insignificant little feedbacks, we break relationships. The atmosphere in the house goes for a toss. Fights happen. Who the hell are you to tell me? And here is Lizzie, who's been given comments like this. And people bring their phones to her and say, "See what is written about you. Don't you have some sense?" Lizzie said, "Yes, there was a phase in my life when life was very difficult, but not so today. Today life has changed." And she goes on to explain how life has changed. She says, I am the driver of my car. I choose whether the car goes on a rocky road, or it goes on an express highway, or it goes inside the jungle off-roading. It's my car and I will choose where I want to go. She goes on to say, I will not let any bully in the world who calls me a monster to define me. Now, there is something very magnificent about this statement. I will not let any bully in the world who calls me a monster to define me. I am going to define myself. My success, my goals, my happiness will define me. She had a goal. I want to write a book. And she says, that is what will define me. Somebody calls me a monster. That is not going to define me. You know, it's so amazing. Lizzie has gone on to write 4 books. What is the first book that she wrote? Lizzie, Beautiful. Where she writes, along with her mother, how she's such a happy person, irrespective of what the world thinks about her. In this vulnerable world, all of us seem very breakable. But here is a girl who says, I am unbreakable. Call me what you want. And she says, let life be very hard. Let people be very hard. But I'm going to use that hardness to create my life. Now think about your life. What is hard about your life today? Can you use it to create your life? For Lizzie, it was the shocking statements of people and an appeal every day, multiple times, why don't you die? Can you imagine a life where every day, multiple times, somebody tells you, die off? And you write a book called Be You, Be Beautiful. Her third book was about happiness, where she says, in spite of that, I choose to be happy. And let me see who can take away my happiness from me. You tell me whatever you want. Let me see if you can take away my happiness. I'm unbreakable. You don't want to be my friends? It's okay. You want to call me a monster? It's okay. You have a right to call me what you want. But I have decided to be happy. I am unbreakable. Today, what makes us sad? What makes us look at life with a doubt? What makes us think we are not good enough? What makes us think future is dark? What makes us break? Let's think about children inside the school. Class 9th and 10th. What makes them break? Compared to Lizzie, is there an issue? You're a child in a family where you have single parents? So, So what? You don't have as much pocket money as you would need. So what? Your friends speak bad about you when you are absent. Okay. So what? You like someone and that person does not like you back in turn. Initially, it was as if it's going to work out. Then he or she backed out. And that makes you very angry. How could he betray me? Okay. So what? You live in a family where you don't get as much encouragement as you would wish. Okay. So what? You don't have great teachers inside your classroom. Okay. So what? Your bench partner disturbs you. Okay. So what? Coming to adult life. Take a couple of minutes and think. What is hard about your life today? What makes you sad? What makes you angry? What makes you withdraw? What makes it difficult for you to forgive? Our life is not as bad as we wish to think or wish to believe it is. If a Lizzie can be happy, none of us have a right to be sad or miserable. We are blessed. And future looks awesome. Some of you over here will go through some financial losses. Some of you sometime will get your money stuck. Some of us will lose a relationship very close to us. Some of us will have key employees on whom we have invested quite a lot, suddenly deciding to leave you and go away. Some of you will be uprooted from the city where you are comfortable and you might have to travel somewhere else. Some of you might be an expert in a subject and it might become obsolete and you have to go back to learning. Some of you might be overweight. Some of you may be in a family where people don't listen to you. Some of you might have this thinking that I'm not understood as much as I want to be understood. Can you use the hardness of life to move on and become progressive and produce results? Lizzie says, you throw a brick at me, I will catch it and create a wall for my house. You throw a stick at me, I will use it to make a ladder. You throw fire at me, I will stroke that fire to light the fire within me and go on to excel and succeed in my life. You give me any negativity you want, and I will use that negativity to produce fantastic, fantabulous results in my life. Lizzie, the ugliest woman on this planet. Lizzie, a person who says, I am unbreakable. You know how many YouTube followers she has? 850,000. You know how many times her videos have been watched? And she has a video on how to apply makeup. Can you look at her self-esteem? Saying, I apply makeup and I'll teach you how to apply makeup. What's wrong in that? You know how many views to her YouTube channel? Last I saw, last evening around 5 o'clock, and it was about 8.5 crores. You know how many videos she has which has more than 1 million views? Not one video. I think there are about 11 videos which have more than 1 million views. And she's talking about her life. She's speaking about approach. She's speaking about attitudes. Just a small question for all of us. In case you were born as Lizzie Velasquez, in case you were born as Lizzie, what would have been your approach to life? Very honestly. In case you were born with the body Lizzie has, there are 2 people with the disease. Let's say there were 3 people in the world with the disease, and the third was you. How would you have approached life? With strength? Why not? I mean, why not? And here comes the most important part of the session. What defines you? What defines you? Your looks define you? How you look is so vitally important for you that looks define you? What people think about your looks, is that what defines you? Or is it the money you have? Does your wealth define you? The size of the house that you have, or the car that you drive, or the places you go on holidays? Everything which money can buy, does that define you? And do you feel inferior in front of people who have more money than you? Or significantly more than you? Does that define you? Because I come across people who all the time ask this question, और यार वो इतना पैसा वाला उससे मैं क्या बात करूं? And people also say, यार उसने इतना कमाया ना. Money defines us. Educational qualification. MBA from Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, IIMs, engineering from IITs. Does that define us? Somebody asks you what's your name and I say, I'm Naren, I'm from IIT. That's what immediately comes. If you have to define yourself, or if you have to say, this is what is going to define me, what will it be? Do your friends define you? This person is my friend. Or the connections you have, the person whom you know, your network, does that define you? Unless you have answered this question, you will always feel very vulnerable to the world. What defines you? Lizzie says, my success the obstacles I have overcome in life, the goals that I have for the future is what defines me. When she was 16 years old, she says, I wish to have my own family. And people laughed at her and said, what? Who's going to come close to you? Family, who's going to like you? Last I read, she's got engaged. Who wouldn't want a person who has so much strength within? Somebody will. Everybody will not, but somebody will. Lizzie, for me, is a heroine. If there are some glamour stars from the world and the Lizzie over here, I would love to go to Lizzie, hug her and talk to her and salute her for the way she's lived her life. She shows the world may not understand me, and whatever negativity they give to me, I'm going to use it for me to lift myself. But that's a champion. That is somebody who shows, I am unbreakable. So let's do this. In your diaries, write down this sentence, I am unbreakable. And believe in it. And mentally take a decision over here. No bully who calls me a monster can define me. Anything and everything negative that life throws towards me, I'm going to use it to develop myself. For I am unbreakable. And take a few minutes and write down what defines you. What defines you? Power. What defines you? Let's listen to a few of you sharing. What I want you to do is, those of you who feel like sharing, you will raise your hands. And you will share like this. I'm unbreakable. What defines me is. So there are going to be two statements. The first statement compulsorily is, I am unbreakable. And then you say what defines you. Ravi? Your attitude, which attitude? Okay.
I am unbreakable because my mental and physical toughness.
Because your?
Mental and physical toughness.
I can understand.
Mental and physical toughness.
Mental and physical toughness. Okay.
I am unbreakable because I have the attitude of not giving up at any situation.
Okay.
I am unbreakable. Empathy defines me.
Okay. So just tell us what defines you, okay? So I'm unbreakable because I can understand. Then what will define you? Right?
I'm unbreakable because I take up the challenges and do it.
Fantastic. Now what defines you? What will define you? What will define Tahir Bhai?
The challenges that
Okay. Yes, my friend. Two of them together. Okay, my ability not to give up defines me. Harshad?
I am unbreakable
Solve issues defines you. Okay. Yes, some friends at the end. Courage to pursue my hobby and passion. Beautiful. Yes. What defines you is yourself. Can you explain that a little more? Okay, we'll come back to you. Yes? Okay. Yes, my friends there in the end. Yeah? Smile and happiness defines me. Okay, my friend in the last row. Because I love myself. Fair enough. My ability to carry people with me defines me. Yes? Is that Girish? Yeah. My ability to inspire others define me. Fair enough. My ability to learn and implement. Fantastic. Jessica? Smile in all situations. Okay. Yes, Anish? Persistence and achievements. Yes. Because of my organizing skills. Okay. Kundalik? Serve with smile defines me. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. My deeds define me. Okay. Abundance defines me. Last two friends, and then we continue with the session. Yes? Your ability to succeed. Okay. Balance defines you. Lizzie's life gives me two directions to think. One, definitely it is about what defines me. Now, I've been thinking since I have been writing, discussing, analyzing Lizzie about what will define me tomorrow. And I was thinking, keep moving movement will define me. Wow parenting will define me. Through these two work, we should be able to create a mass movement of transformation where we reach out to millions of people and make this world a better place to live in. The clarity, thanks to Lizzie, has given so much focus and strength, and decision making has become so simple. This is what is going to define me. Now let me put all my resources behind this. The second aspect of Lizzie's life is whatever happens, live with courage. And she shows courage in multiple dimensions of life. Courage to accept what cannot be changed. And she keeps on saying, it's okay. I don't have friends, it's okay. People bully me, it's okay. They call me a monster, it's okay. There is no resistance, there is no anger. There is no volcano seething within. Why is the world like this? It's okay if they're like this. She has a disease and she says it's okay. And I don't want a cure. Because if a cure comes, I am what I am because of it. The ability to accept. Yeah, I have to eat every 15 minutes, max 30 minutes I can stay without eating. But it's okay. I was speaking to a friend yesterday and she said, oh my God, how will she tackle this pressure of eating every 30 minutes? And Lizzie says, it's okay. All of us will have some things in life that we cannot change. Some of you might have studied from Marathi medium and you might carry a regret that I am from Marathi medium. Actually, my English is not good because I am from Marathi medium. And I tell all of my friends, it's okay. 190 साल मेहनत करके अंग्रेजों को इस देश से भगाया है और उनकी भाषा अगर आपको नहीं आती है कोई बड़ी समस्या नहीं है. Absolutely okay. If you understand it and your work happens, it's okay. Don't carry it around your neck as a regret. Okay, if I was good in English, I would have really come. It's okay. How much wisdom will it require and simplicity in thinking to say courageously, it's okay. You know, with that we draw a line to the past. And not to cry about it ever. It's okay. Oh, it requires courage because it's so easy to fall back and blame somebody or something. Like Joseph Campbell says, everybody is searching for a face to blame. If only they looked at the mirror. Courage to say, yeah, I have a body which is like this, it's absolutely okay. Then courage to do what can be done. With this body, with this life, what are the options in front of me? You know, today Lizzie is a motivational speaker. She's invited by corporates and by countries. She's invited to international forums and she's asked to speak over there. And she speaks and more often than not she gets a standing ovation. With what I have, so much can be done. And that's what Lizzie says. When the world calls me a monster, I have a few options. Either I can cry about what I don't have, or I can be glad about what I have. I don't have friends, but I have a great family. Nobody likes me, but I have a sense of humor. People can't stand my face, but they love what I write. Let me use what I have and do what I can. Every now and then the mind want to wander there. But it takes courage to use what you have. Enough lives are a tragedy, not because personally they went through some huge calamities, but because what they have, they did not even use enough. It's like I have dal chawal which can fill my stomach, but I wanted roti sabji, and because roti sabji was not there, I starved to death. Dal chawal is there with you, why don't you eat it? No, I want roti sabji. You will like someone, but they will like somebody else, they will get married to them. What will you do? Enjoy dal chawal. रोटी सब्जी नहीं है, पेट भरना भाई, भूखा रहेगा. जब दिल ही टूट गया हम जी के. Those songs. Listen to Jhingat every morning. It's okay. इतना विजडम का बात किया, सब सीरियस. झिंगाट. It's okay. From now onwards, every session, once I will mention Jhingat. It's okay. It takes courage to use what we have. It takes foolishness to cry about what we don't have. Yet most lives are tragedies because we cry about what we don't have. And there is so much with which so much can be done. And Lizzie's life is a prime example. Her career is that of an author and a motivational speaker. She used what she had. It takes courage to be happy. When the world says you're swagly, you are a monster. And she looks at them and says, yeah, you're absolutely right. But I'm happy. You're right, I look like a monster. You're right, I am very ugly. But I'm very happy also. Do you see my happiness? And she makes friends. Now the whole world wants her. 850,000 people follow her on YouTube. So you can imagine. If any one of us has 850,000 YouTube followers, would you like it? And she has. Why? She used what she has instead of crying about what she does not have. So for me, courage, tremendous courage in three things. It's okay. Courage to say what I have is so beautiful and I'm going to use this. And courage to choose to be happy in life. Lizzie is an inspiration to millions of people. And she tells us, tell yourself, I am unbreakable. Find out what is going to define you. And I very deeply believe the day you have been able to find the answer to that question, what defines you, you will be so sorted over here. You will be ready to face anything that the world throws at you. And Lizzie says, those who call me monsters, they are not going to define me. I am going to define myself. Session number 1. Title, I am unbreakable. What is my expectation out of you? Mirror this session with your life. Watch at least one video of Lizzie, which is titled as What Defines You. It has about 11 million views if my memory is right. It's about 15 minutes. The link to that video is there in the PDF file which will be shared with you, which has the essence and the highlights of today's session. So you don't have to go on a blind search. All you need to do is click on the link and you will be able to read it. Mirror this session with your life. Do some intense soul searching on these two questions. What is hard in your life? And how are you going to deal with it? 2, what defines you? Talk to many people about these two aspects. What is hard about your life? And what defines you? Enter into conversations with people. And by the time you go inside the classroom to speak, you should know what happens in the head of people in conversations when you ask these questions. And by that time, if you have been able to define yourself very beautifully, that this is what defines me. Ideally, something that defines you should be some kind of a success. An approach is a road. And success is a proof that I am on the right path. And that is why we began by asking all of you to write down at least one award that you can think of. Now, can we dare to write, this is the award I am going to get? Let's say, can you dare to write, I am going to get a Padma Vibhushan? Now, what is the kind of work that I should do by which I deserve that award? And let that work that you want to do now define you. Whether the award comes or not, that's a yardstick. What kind of work I need to do to reach there? If you're interested in acting, probably an Oscars. If you're in music, maybe a Grammy. If you're into social work, maybe a Ramon Magsaysay Award. If you want to do something brilliant in research, and again social work, maybe a Nobel Prize. My question is, will you dare, will you also have the courage to think that way? कि चलो वैसा कुछ करते हैं. Now we are not thinking about how a 100 crore company can become 125, and we are not thinking about how a profit of 5 crores can become 7 crores. Because trust me, we all reach a point in life where more money does not make any difference to us. More money does not change anything about our life. But a goal which can impact lives of people, like Keep Moving movement, and there must be so much more happening in the world outside. Something very concrete to define you. The way you live your life, the kind of people you will have around you, should all be defined by what defines you. And maybe one day, Lizzie comes searching for you. Where is this guy or where is this girl who's such an inspiration? I want to meet him or her. This is session number 1 for all of us. I am unbreakable. Your responsibility? 50 children inside the classroom should believe they are unbreakable. At the end of the session, they should have a desire for an exceptional award, and they should be able to define the kind of work that they will do by which they will qualify for that award. If we can do that, let's say we'll train 25,000 children. Just imagine if 25,000 people can live with this conviction that I am unbreakable, plus 500 more. What happens to this world? It will become a place where nobody calls a Lizzie as ugly. It will be a place where there are no bullies, there is no sadness, there is courage, and there is happiness. So I wish you all the best in taking this session inside your classrooms.